I warmly welcome all of you to the Speak in English online lecture series, which has been designed by the International Association for Quality Education along with South Asian International Association for Early Childhood and Development, in order to provide support to anyone who is keen in developing the communicational skills. I am Dishan Jagannathan, Operational Leader of International Association for Quality Education, and I'll be briefing you on Lesson 2, which is Present Continuous Tense. This series has been designed under the guidance of Mr. Janaka Kamalgoda, the President of International Association for Quality Education and President of South Asian International Association for Early Childhood Care and Development. The sustainable development goals of this organization is to ensure an inclusive and equitable quality education and promote lifelong learning opportunities for all. The purpose of organizing this lecture series is to improve communication skills in English and to overcome challenges in global society. Let's move into the lesson. First of all, let's see what subject means. A subject of a sentence is the person, place, or thing that is performing the action of the sentence. The subject represents what or whom the sentence is about. The simple subject usually contains a noun or a pronoun. The word I, you, we, they, he, she, it are pronouns. I refers to first person singular. We refers to first person plural. You refers to second person singular or plural. He, she, it refers to third person singular. They refers to third person plural. What's present continuous tense? It's an action that is performed at a particular moment. It could be reading. If the verb is read, in present continuous tense, it becomes reading. Likewise, skipping, sleeping, writing, playing, and so on. So we could say we add ing to the verb to express that action is processing in a particular moment. Types of sentences. Sentences can be classified under 4 types, namely positive sentence, negative sentence, positive question, and negative question. Let's now look into each of the types. The first one is positive sentence. In a positive sentence for present continuous tense, the structure would be subject plus is or are or am plus the verb followed by ing. For example, if we take I am playing, I is the subject followed by am, and the verb used is play. In continuous tense, it becomes playing. Likewise, she is cooking. She is the subject followed by is, and the verb cook plus ing becomes cooking. They are studying. They is the subject plus are, verb study plus ing becomes studying. One thing that we need to note here is When we use I, which is the first person singular, we use am. And for you, we, they, as when it comes as subjects, we use are. And for he, she, it, we use is. Let's look at the expanded form. I plus am, verb plus ing, followed by the object and place or time. For you, we, they, it's plus are plus verb plus ing, object plus place and time. For he, she, it, it's plus is plus verb plus ing plus object with place and time. Let's look at some examples in detail. I am playing cricket now in the garden. I is the subject plus am, verb plus ing, playing, object cricket. Now in the garden. So now refers to the time and in the garden refers to the place. So by using these, we could make a proper sentence, proper and meaningful sentence. We are studying English these days in our office. We is the subject followed by are, the verb studying, English is the object, and these days in our office is the place and time. You are waiting to meet someone. You is the subject, followed by are, verb plus ing, waiting. To meet someone is the object. They are attending the English online class at this moment. They is the subject, followed by are, verb attend plus ing, attending the English online class. At this moment, English online class is the object. He is teaching music to the children in the garden now. He is the subject plus is the verb plus ing is teaching, object is music, followed by to the children in the garden now. She is cooking noodles for dinner. She is the subject plus is, verb plus ing is cooking, object is noodles for dinner. The cat is making a noise under the table. The cat is the subject, followed by is, verb plus ing, making a noise under the table is the remaining part of the sentence. When we make sentences, we need to we need to focus on stative verbs. What are stative verbs? Stative verbs are verbs that express a state rather than an action. They usually relate to thoughts, emotions, relationships, senses, states of being, and measurements. So for stative verbs, we do not add ing. There are a number of stative verbs which have been given for you. Now we'll move to the negative sentences. The structure of The structure for the negative sentence in present continuous tense goes by subject plus is or are or am plus not plus verb plus ing. The difference between the positive and negative sentence structure, we use not in negative and it comes after am or is or are. We could contract it using isn't for is not and aren't for are not. Now let's look at some examples. I am not playing now. Subject I followed by am not. Playing is the verb with ing. She is not listening to music. She is the subject followed by is not, which could also be said as isn't. The verb listen plus ing, listening to music. So this sentence could be also read as she isn't listening to music. They are not studying English. They is the subject followed by are not, verb plus ing, studying, and the rest of the sentence is English. This sentence could also be read as they aren't studying English. These three sentences mean an action which is not being done at the moment. Let's look at the expanded forms in detail. For I, we use am plus not, followed by the verb plus ing, and the rest of the part of the sentence, which is object plus place and time. We, you, they, plus are, plus not, which could be contracted as aren't, plus verb plus ing, plus object, followed by place and time. He, she, it, plus is, plus not, contracted as isn't, plus verb plus ing, plus object, followed by place and time. Let's look at some more examples so that we could get a clear idea of how to form sentences. I am not playing cricket now in the garden. I is the subject plus am, not. Verb plus ing, playing. Object here is cricket. Now in the garden refers to the place and time. Similarly, we are not studying English these days in our office. We aren't studying. We is the subject, aren't, studying is the verb, and English is the object here. You aren't waiting to meet someone. You is the subject, aren't, waiting is verb plus ing, to meet someone. Rest of the part of the sentence. They aren't attending the English online class at this moment. They is the subject, aren't. Attending is verb plus ing. The English online class at this moment, where English online class is the object, and at this moment, the rest of the sentence. He is not teaching music to the children in the garden now, or he isn't teaching music to the children in the garden now. She is cooking noodles for dinner. She isn't cooking noodles for dinner. The cat isn't making a noise under the table now. Here, the cat is the subject, followed by isn't, verb plus ing, making a noise under the table now. Rest of the sentence. Now we'll move to questions. And first of all, let's look at positive questions. Am, is, are. The questions begin with am or is or are, followed by the subject plus verb plus ing. One thing we need to notice is the difference between the sentence and a question is in questions, when we form, the subject comes after am or is or are. Whereas in a sentence, positive or negative, the sentence begins with a subject. Am I playing cricket now? Is she cooking now? Are they studying now? These three sentences are inferring to events that are happening at a particular situation. Therefore, the format, let's look at a detailed version of it. For first person narrative, the formation would be am plus I plus verb plus ing plus object followed by place and time. For we, you, they, we'll be starting the question with are plus verb plus ing plus object with place and time. Is plus he, she, it, which refers to the third person singular narrative, plus verb plus ing plus object plus place and time. The examples for this structure for positive questions would be, am I playing cricket now in the garden? Am I playing cricket now in the garden? The question begins with am, plus the subject is I, verb plus ing, playing, object cricket, and place and time is referred by now in the garden. Are we studying English these days in our office? The question begins with are, followed by the subject we, and verb plus ing is studying, object English these days in our office refers to the place and time. Are you waiting to meet someone? The question begins with are, followed by you, which is the subject of this question, verb wait plus ing, waiting to meet someone. Are they attending the English online class at this moment? Question begins with are, followed by they. The verb is attending the English online class at this moment. Is he teaching music to the children in the garden now? Is the question word followed by the subject he. The action or the verb is teach plus ing, teaching music to the children in the garden now. Is she cooking noodles for dinner now? Is the cat making a noise under the table now? Is the cat is the subject making verb plus ing a noise under the table now. Okay. Now we'll move to the next type, which is negative questions. The negative questions, similar to positive questions, begin with the question words is or are or am, but it's followed by not instead of the subject. So when you make negative questions, we use the contracted form, which is isn't or aren't. We need to consider one thing. When we use am, we do not say am not. Am always is connected to first person singular narrative, which is I. We'll look at it with the help of an example. Am I not playing now? Isn't she cooking in present? Are they studying in this moment? When we look at these three examples, we could notice the first one is quite different from the second and the third examples. When we use the first person, always make sure to use am I not. Am I not plus the verb ing and rest of the sentence. Isn't she cooking? Is not is contracted as isn't. She is the subject plus verb ing cooking in present. And the last one, aren't. Are not is contracted as aren't. They studying. They is the subject here. And study plus ing is the verb plus ing, studying in this moment. A detailed expansion of the form is given in this slide. Am plus I not. I repeat, am plus I not plus verb ing plus object plus place and time. They, are not. But when we make questions, as I told you earlier, we do not say are not. We need to use the contraction, which is aren't. Aren't. Plus we or you or they plus verb plus ing plus object and followed by place and time. Last one. Is not, the contracted form is isn't, could be used for he, she, it, followed by the verb plus ing and object with place and time. Some examples. Am I not playing cricket now in the garden? So as we discussed earlier, when we use first person narrative subject which is I, the question is framed as am I not? Am I not playing cricket now in the garden? Aren't we studying English these days in our office? The format goes as aren't plus we, which is the subject of this question, plus studying is the verb plus ing, English is the object, and rest of the sentence these days in our office. Aren't you waiting to meet someone? Aren't they attending the English online class at this moment? Isn't he teaching music to the children in the garden now? Isn't she cooking noodles for dinner now? Isn't the cat making a noise under the table now? So all these examples given here follow the structure, which is the questions begin with either isn't or aren't or am I not, followed by the subject. Things to keep in mind while forming sentences or questions. To talk about temporary situations. I am studying really hard for my exams. This explains the situation is happening at this current moment. Let's look at another one. My cousin is living in Thailand at the moment. So the cousin is living now, at present. Words like at the moment, currently, or now, this week or month, this year are often used in present continuous tense. Second thing, to talk about actions happening at the moment of speaking. I am waiting for my friends. It's also used to talk about trends or changing situations. The internet is making it easier for people to stay in touch with each other. The price of petrol is rising dramatically. And finally, to talk about things that happen more often than expected. Often to show envy or to criticize with words like always, constantly, continually, forever. My mom always say, I don't help enough, which is a complaint. He is always visiting exciting places. This is an envy. Let's summarize what we've learned in this lesson too. So, as we saw, we have four types of sentences: positive, negative sentences, positive, negative questions. Positive sentences: I'm going to school now. They are walking home after school. She is studying in Central. Nimal is studying in Central College. So the format would be am or are or is plus verb plus ing. Whereas negative sentence, the format would be am not, are not, or is not plus verb plus ing. I am not going to school now. They are not walking home after school. Nimal is not studying in Central College. Moving to the questions, positive questions. Am I going to school now? Are they walking home after school? Is Nimal studying in Central College? So the formation would be either you have am or are or is at the beginning of the question, followed by the subject and the verb plus ing. But when it comes to negative questions, the first person narrative goes as am I not, which has to be kept in mind. And for the rest of the section, we will be using either isn't or aren't at the beginning of the question, followed by the subject plus verb plus ing. Am I not going to school now? Are they walking home after school? Isn't Nima studying in Central College? Assessment and evaluation. Visit us on the given web address. Go to the Speak in English lecture series. Follow the guidance to complete the assessment process. Watch the next lesson to become fluent in English. Hope this helped you all. Thank you for listening. Have a nice day.
so high I'm hypnotized. What's up is down, what's left is right. Chasing stars and holding you. I can't see the end, but we'll see it through.